Before you start watching this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to make the channel bigger and better than ever. It would be simply lovely to do that. Hello guys, and welcome to a new episode of The Football Show. Not football show, The Football Show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's Premier League games and also some games from other European leagues. Let's get started. First, let's start with the Premier League. Burnley against Liverpool. Liverpool winning 1-0 against Burnley thanks to a late penalty from Mohamed Salah. Heartbreak for Burnley because I thought they did quite well. In their strategy, they did quite well. And people criticizing them for parking the bus. I mean, sorry, but what do you expect them to do? They don't have the quality that Liverpool have. But guess what? It's up to Liverpool to break it down, to overcome the situation, and Liverpool found it very, very difficult. You can tell, that lot of possession, 27 shots, only 4 on target, and one of them came from the penalty, and one of them came in the first half with the Robertson shot, where it was an easy save for the goalkeeper to make. The Bravka didn't have to make much saves. He didn't have to make much saves. So that was a bit of a worrying thing because Liverpool had a lot of possession, a lot of chances, but they didn't create many dangerous chances. Maybe in the last 5-10 minutes they did, but not enough in general in overall game. I thought Wirtz once again didn't have a good game. People keep saying that he's a flop, etc. Listen, it's only 4 games. Let's wait. Let's wait, and then let's wait until November, December. And the positive side of Wirtz that you can say that this team is winning. So because if Liverpool were losing, unless you're not winning every game, you could cherry pick and say, oh, this player is playing poor, let's drop him. At least his team is winning. So not everything is bad for Liverpool. However, I would say Liverpool, despite they won all of their games, they have not been convincing at all, in my opinion. They were winning. They threw away a 2-goal lead against Bournemouth, even though they came back in the end to win it. They threw away a 2-goal lead against Newcastle, even they came back in the end to win it as well. They were not that great against Arsenal, and they won due to a magical free kick from Szoboszlai. And they were not best. They were not that special against Bournemouth, even though they won it at the end. So. It's, but you have to give credit to Liverpool that they have that never give up mentality. I saw a stat that in every single game they played this season, the winning goals they've scored have come from a goal after the 80th minute. So they simply don't give up at all. And on all the games they play, they simply don't give up. They have that never give up mentality, and that's what champions do. Even though they do not the upper against the backside, they overcome the situation, and I think Liverpool have done that very well. But Liverpool cannot, all the matches rely on not playing at their best and win. They have to improve their performances. They can't keep getting with it every single game. At the start of the season, you might not play at your best, but at some point in the season, the performances have to improve. Because I don't think Ekitike was that great. He's been very good for Liverpool. I don't think he was that great this game. Wirtz didn't have a good game, as I said. Salah, I don't think he had a good game. I don't know why. I picked him in my fantasy, and I don't know why he had so many points. Because I don't know why. Because I don't think he was that great. Szoboszlai had a very good performance. Kirkers, who made a yellow, made a dive for the penalty, but the referee said no, it wasn't a penalty, and it gave him a yellow card, and it was the right decision. It was clearly a dive, and you could clearly see Slot choose the opportunity to not risk him and not play with 10 men because Kirk is in with a yellow with 70 minutes to go, 65 minutes to go, choose to bring in Robertson. And Robertson, I thought when he came on, he did quite well. So yeah, lots of improvement to be made. Some improvements to be made from Liverpool's side, even though they won all of their games. McAllister, once again, I thought he had a very, very good game. And yeah, let's look at the decisions. The dive for the yellow card, I think it was a correct decision. I don't think it was a penalty. what I would say is that a player from Burnley stamped on Alexis McAllister's feet, and that was not given as a red card. I mean, the similar incident happened in the West Ham Tottenham game when Souček stamped on one of the Tottenham players and he got sent off, and that was a right decision. So why don't you do the same thing for this game? And if you gave him a red card, that would have been the correct decision. You know, sometimes I don't understand the referees in this league, honestly. But anyway, and then you look at the red card from Yugachuku, yeah. That was a correct decision. He was on a yellow. That was quite silly from him. Correct decision. And then the penalty. I was not sure about it the first time. The first time it happened, but when I look at it again, yeah, he put his hand up, and yeah, that was a correct decision at the end, and that was the penalty. So yeah, not because that's a shame, because Hannibal let Burnley down, because Burnley, with all their great efforts, finding doing everything they can to get the points. Sometimes you need a bit of luck, especially against the big clubs, and I don't think Burnley were lucky enough in the last 10-15 minutes with the red card, with the penalty. So yeah, because I thought Burnley did very well. They did well in their efforts playing against the Premier League champions. And yes, they didn't do anything in terms of attacking wise. But what do you expect when the team doesn't have the quality of Liverpool? And you can clearly see why Burnley we were so stronger in the defensively last season in the Championship. I know it's Championship, Premier League, different levels, but you can clearly see why they're defensively strong, difficult to break down, and but Liverpool still found a way to win it at the end. So yeah, important win for Liverpool, important 3 points before they go to the 2 games coming up, which is Atletico Madrid at home and the Merseyside derby. Let's move on to the Manchester derby, the other derby that happened this weekend. Was Manchester City against Manchester United. Manchester City winning 3-0 thanks to goals from Phil Foden and 2 goals from Erling Haaland. To be honest, I don't think City were that great, if I'm being very honest, and they didn't have to. That's how Man United bad they are, and we're going to talk about them later. But I don't think City were that great. Obviously, we saw the normal City in the first half where they tried to attack, they tried to have lots of possession. But in the second half, it's like Guardiola and City played for the mistakes of United. They were like, okay, we don't have to dominate possession, we just have to, when United make a mistake, we capitalize on them. And that was unlike Pep Man City, just playing for, let's capitalize the mistakes of City, because he allowed United to have the ball in the second half. He allowed them, okay, go on, try to create chances. Like Donnarumma made some very good saves, and that was unlike City. And so, but that's a very good win, very important win, of course, considering the 2 defeats they had. And they could have scored more as well. Because Erling Haaland had a couple of chances he could have scored for. He had that goal when they missed that open goal, and Guardiola he fell and he was stunned. But Phil Foden, good header. But I think one of the players who also stood out for Man City, but not many people are going to talk about him, of course, because he's not a superstar, is Jeremy Doku. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. The assist for the second goal, I should say. Causing defenders problems. The assist for the first goal as well for Phil Foden. Don't forget that, even though there was a bit of a touch from the United players. I thought he was very good. Doku had a fantastic game. He was brilliant for City. I think, in my opinion, you could say he was one of the man of the match. Yeah, you could say like Donnarumma, Haaland gave great performances for Man City, but in my opinion, Doku also was one of the fantastic players for City in this game. He was causing problems for defenders. He was very, very good. He was fantastic. Rodri, he made some passes and he lost them, and I don't think he's that great, but 75 minutes in his tank, more fitness, more game time, to give him a better chance to be more and more fit in upcoming games and try to play a lot more. And that's what I think we're going to see the best of Rodri, in my opinion, in upcoming games. Just like Van Dijk, when he had that game time, it gave him time, and after that he was back to his best. So I have no doubt that Rodri is going to be that. But yeah, good win for City. Manchester City are back. Listen, they've got their next 2 games coming up, is Napoli at home and Arsenal away. this game against United, with all due respect, this is a poor United side, a very poor United side, a very average United side. I expected City to beat them before this game, but I think we're going to see the true side of City when they're going to play Napoli and when they're going to play against Arsenal. If they do well in those games and they, let's say, beat Napoli and they beat Arsenal, okay, they're back. Even if they beat Napoli and drew with Arsenal, they're back. I'll say they're back. But if they struggle in those two games, then we're gonna have a conversation about City again, a serious conversation. So let's wait and see. This game is one game, so they have to do it more than one game. But it's a very good. They showed some very good signs that they can adapt and they could win in different circumstances. All the time we see City trying to win with lots of possession, creating chances, but this game they didn't do that. They're like, okay, United, you can have the ball, and they capitalized for City, for United's mistakes, and at times City played for the counter-attacks. So you have to give credit to City, and you have to give credit to Guardiola for the win. Very important wins. Haaland 2 goals. He's delivered for City. I think he has now more goals than Didier Drogba, if I'm not mistaken. So. And he's been there in the Premier League for what, 3-4 years? So yeah, that's crazy. And he could have scored a hat-trick because he had some great chances to score with open goal, and the other one where he had tried to chip or something like that, but Binder made that save when he hold the hands with the ball. But yeah, important win for City, so well done to them. Now let's move on to Manchester United. I mean, new season, same old, isn't it? New season, same old. Luke Shaw, I mean, absolutely terrible. Diallo, I mean, Sesko had a very poor game. I expected more from him. You can clearly say Amorim doesn't fancy him. And there is an interesting quote Amorim after the game. He said that let me get his quote. Wait a minute. So let's have a look. So he said, sorry for the noise in the background, but he said, when I want to change my philosophy, I will change. If not, you have to change the man. My message is giving. I'm going to give everything. I will do my best, and I'm suffering more than the fans. So he said, Porto asked to him, your winning streak is not great. Winning rate is not great. Teams are finding it easier to play against him, to play against United. And he said, no, I'm not going to change my philosophy. When I want to change, I will change. If not, you have to change the man. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can clearly see he's looking for the sack. You can clearly see. I mean, I've been supportive of Amorim, saying that he's been honest in the press conferences, etc. But sometimes you feel, why is he saying that? He said after the Europa League final that I could go, I could leave. Now you have to change the man if you want to change the philosophy. I think he's looking for the sack. I think he is, because United have brought in players, still bringing players, what he wants. He brought in a goalkeeper, he brought in a couple of good attacking players like Zibuembo, Seshko, Cunha, and still the problem is still there. Why? Again, and listen, people say that, but this has been going on for years and years for United. Yes, it's been going on like this for United since Alex Ferguson left. But it was like under Mourinho, they were never 15th, 14th. Under Solskjaer, they were not 15th, 14th. Under Van Gaal, they were not 15th, 14th. Under Ten Hag, they were not 15th, 14th. Even under Moyes, they were not 15th and 14th. So let's not act like United were this bad before. This is the first time that this bad, and it's under a coach like Amorim. You can clearly see he's looking for the sack, and he's saying, when I want to change my philosophy, I will change. You know what his philosophy, Ruben? Winning. That's the philosophy, right? Now I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna continue to talk about United and then talk about other games from Europa Leagues because time is running out.